Hello viewers of SSBC, thank you so much for joining us in today's episode where we'll be discussing on issues of development, reconciliation, peace and forgiveness among the people of the newly created state of Central Upper Nile. And in this episode we're happy to be joined by the governor of Central Upper Nile state, that is James Tor Monbon, who will be telling us what is new after his appointment. What is the next move to the people of that state? Governor, you're welcome to the Roundtable Show.
Thank you, God Anthony.
To begin with, Governor, I understand this position, first of all, has been aspiration of so many people in the region of Central Upper Nile. But you managed to win the trust of the leadership. What do you say about this?
Before I say anything, I would like to thank God and thank my president for the trust he bestowed upon me. It's not that easy for one to be chosen among the thousand who are the citizen and member of the state at the same time. So winning the trust of the president has a lot to be appreciated, and I personally thank him. And at the same time, it is also a big challenge, to oneself, to see into it that you are chosen and you are given a task in which you are trusted to meet the expectation of your leadership and expectation of your people who might be having a different expectation. So reconciling, this need a lot of wisdom, and that wisdom you need to expect it from anyone except from God. So it is actually a very big challenge, and one have to try its best to see into it that you at least, even if you don't certify it, everyone or the feeling. Or meets all the mission that you have been asked by the leadership to at least to contribute to. One could be in a position to at least make some impact in terms of the mission that I'm given to.
Governor, you are being appointed and you are given that responsibility of heading the mother state in the region of Upper Nile as a whole. Let's see that, do you think you're the right leader?
Well, it will depend upon the feeling of different people. And no one could just talk to himself that I'm the right leader. But winning the trust of the leadership is not that easy. There have to be some pure description and qualities that people think. If we try, James could make something out of him. So, but personally, I'm not the best person to describe myself. But my activities, as the saying goes, action speak louder than words, will be the best result that people will talk about it. But the one good thing about the tradition of the South Sudanese, no one praise you when you are actually on job. You are praised later on after you are out of the job. So that one we will talk later on at the time when my time come to nearer to or almost to an end.
Let's get to know about the people of Central Upper Nile themselves. Our viewers would like to know this state with its capital Malakal. Who are the inhabitants or who are the people that constitute your state currently?
God Anthony, if you look back at our history as the Southern Sudanese, South Sudan was majorly known for three capitals, which is the Juba where we are talking now, and Malakal, and Wow. So Malakal city as a city, it combines so many people, and you can find everybody, a citizen of this nation there in Malakal town. It's the oldest town, and people there any person whom we happen to be, staying in Malakal, we consider him as one of our brother, one of our sister, and a citizen to that nation. Moreover, the inhabitants or the native of the area are those whom you find there, and of course, many people know them in South Sudan.
Governor, there are so many people that you're going to be, leading currently. Different tribes. Let me say, mostly around, if I'm not mistaken, mostly out of the 64 tribes in South Sudan, they are going to be part of that state in the region of Malakal. How are you going to ensure that you unite these different tribes to come together and live in peaceful coexistence, work as people from one nation, one people?
And I think that's the task, that's the major mission that I've been asked, at least to ensure that everybody live peacefully in the town, in Malakal town, and not only in the town, even around its surrounding, in the areas of where the citizens stay. So, to start with, and in which I have already started, I've first made my message and my campaign to be for peace and unity of the people. So it is a time now for people of Central Upper Nile to reconcile. It is time now for the people of Upper Nile to realize peace. Central Upper Nile people have coexist for centuries. Our forefathers have lived there. Our grandmothers and fathers have lived there. So why not, should we not continue to live the way they have been living? So if anything happens, well, people of the same family can differ, but at the same time they can come together and reconcile among themselves. So it is one of the missions that we will talk hard, and it is my message now, that my people, this is the time for you to reconcile. This is the time for you to come together, live together. You are one nation, you are people of the one people, one nation. And that's the message to everyone.
Governor, the task of reconciliation, forgiveness, it's very clear and important to the communities of South Sudan. Now this drives me to the point of priorities. As you said, you began by ensuring that you unite the people of Central Upper Nile region. Now let's get to know about the priorities apart from uniting the people of that state. What next should people of Central Upper Nile expect from you?
My priorities, and one of them is peace and unity through reconciliation. And this has also is to ensure that they at the same time they are protection. So peace and protections have to exist. The moment we have peace, the moment we feel that there is a need, we work on for peace. Because peace is not one thing that we can achieve at once. It is something that we work on until the process. So we cannot just realize peace at once. And then peace has also have to be realized through peace dividends. Those peace dividends must get involved. We also have to see some developments, that are happening. One of the development that people don't realize, in most cases, is presence of education or the school. So by having peace, we will be able now to ensure that our children go to school. In Central Upper Nile or in the Upper Nile region as a whole, I don't believe that our children are learning just like the way they used to be. So education sector has been affected. So we have to put into priority that at least our children goes back to school. We have to ensure that our learning facilities are again rehabilitated, and ensure that our teachers also are called back and they are rehabilitated. And we also have to ensure that health facilities within Malakal town and the areas covered by our state that are also revived, and they are workable, and at least people have accessibility to health facilities. At the same time, we have to ensure that people remain connected, you know, through all our feeder road that we have, that we will be able now to connect ourselves. And this, all of this, for this to happen, we must ensure that we accepted peace among ourselves. So peace is priority number one. That has to be also to be followed by peace dividends, and like education, health, and as well as we go. We cannot do all this also without ensuring that we have food security. You know, the question of food security is also a part of peace dividend. And this has, when I talk of food security, it's something to do with agriculture. Okay. So that are going to be a primary priorities that we can see that peace has returned to our area. Once we have accepted to live together, we will know that at least there is peace. When we have accepted that and ensure that our schools are open and our children goes back to one school the way they used to be, we really realize that there is peace. One, we ensure that we have health facilities, and the citizens of my state are visiting the same health facilities as one people, one state, yes, or one nation. Then we will realize that we are at least achieving that peace is in our present.
Governor, Central Upper Nile State, I believe, has got neighboring communities or neighboring state, and you having a task. You're having a task to ensure that people within Central Upper Nile not only coexist together, not only live together, but also ensure that they embrace those communities, those neighboring states that they are bordering. As the governor now, what will you do in the next move to ensure that the community or the Central Upper Nile state is actually connected to different states, in making sure that they live peacefully and coexist with each other?
It's very important. I think, as you have remembered before, that Central Upper Nile is the mother of the region, yes, of the whole Greater Upper Nile. Yes. Currently, out of the 32 states that is South Sudan have, within Upper Nile, of the region Upper Nile, before the division of the state into 28, the 10 states into 28, we now have 13 states, yes, within the region. Okay. So it is also important that for us to feel the peace within Central Upper Nile, then we have to have peace within our neighboring state. Okay. So peace in Central Upper Nile mean peace with Pachoda. Peace in Central Upper Nile mean peace with Pangag State. Mm-hmm. Peace with Central Upper Nile mean peace with BI State. Peace in Central Upper Nile mean peace with Latjoy State. Peace of Central Upper Nile mean peace with Mayuri State, as well as Northern Upper Nile State, and even Pariang State. Yes. So we are also bordering. So when we talk of peace in Central Upper Nile, we actually talk of peace of the whole region. We talk of the peace of Greater Upper Nile region as a whole, because this is the mother, and I think it is important area where I feel that my fellow governors, my colleagues, also should work to do the same. You know, they should also be doing the same, and we will also be doing the same, and we campaign for the peace together, so that we realize peace within our region.
Okay, viewers of SSBC, we are going for this break and we'll be coming back after this. Please stay tuned, then we'll continue right away. Hello viewers, welcome back from that short break. You're still watching the Round Table Show, where we host the Governor of Central Upper Nile State, that is James Storr, and we are discussing on the new development of that state as being created in an effort to ensure that peace has finally come to that region. Governor, you mentioned so many things that you want to ensure that people of Upper Nile coexist with their neighboring communities, development, so on and so forth. Now let's get down to the road of the National Dialogue Initiative. President declared last year in 2016, that this year, 2017, should be a year where all South Sudanese come and sit down in a round table where they air out all their grievances to ensure that peace, lasting peace, has prevailed in the country. What is your leadership going to do to ensure that this initiative reach to the grassroots?
Yeah, thank you again, Gor Anthony. I think when we talk of the national dialogue that has been declared by the president, first of all, citizens need to understand that national dialogue starts with you, it starts with me. So my understanding of national dialogue is that as soon as we start our activities, our plan, our first quarter, of the beginning of within the next 100 days,
Yes.
is that we must to include it into our priorities as part of peace implementation program.
Yes.
National dialogues is one of the agenda within the peace implementation.
Yes.
So to comply with the declaration made by the president, my leaderships and my government at the state level will ensure that we own the process at the state level. My commissioners have to own the process.
Yes.
And we have been hurt by the conflict. And this crisis, I believe, has touched most or everybody
Yes.
in the area. So reconciliation has to start with you, with your family, with your neighbors, within your village, come to the level of the boomer. People have to discuss among themselves. What are the challenges that are facing them? How can they work, to improve them? And then at the boomer level, they have to come to the Payam level. At the Payam level, they have to come to the county level.
Yes.
So the communities have to discuss among themselves. They have to dialogue among themselves. They have to reconcile among themselves. And then we come at the state level, where together we dialogue through some thematic areas that are areas of concern that we think they impact us negatively, and we want to improve them. And by the way, when we talk of national dialogue, when we talk about reconciliation, when we talk about peace, we have to see that what are the factors, that are hindering, peace. What are the factors that are hindering our coexistence? How can we eliminate them? How can we overcome them? How can we start, that trust? How can we rebuild the trust that we have lost, among ourselves? How can we, forgive, and regain again the trust? I know it's painful because most of us are victims of the crisis.
Why, Governor? Why is some of our communities, like mostly we South Sudanese communities, why is it hard sometimes to accept that, you accept somebody to say sorry to you or to ask you for forgiveness? I mean, why?
No, that's a good question, Gor Anthony. There was a certain time that I posed a question of reconciliations.
Yes.
And peace,
Yes.
among ourselves. And some of the people start to talk of accountability. There is nowhere you could be talking of accountability now when you are really burning, when you are really in pain,
Yes.
So why not don't we accept ourselves first, solve our problem, accept to come together, so that we can really have an environment, a conducive environment
Yes.
that will be now, acceptable, and free for all of us, to dialogues on the issue that will affected us.
Yes.
I'm one of the victims of the 2013.
You're one of the victims?
I'm one of the victims of 2013, 2014.
Yes.
I'm one of the victims. But should I start to ask anybody now, let us not talk peace because I was wounded or because I was shot? No. Can I start to ask people now, I want to know who shot me?
Yes.
Can I start to ask people now, if I'm not compensated, if I don't know who did this to me, then I don't. And most of us are victims, Some of us lost their parents,
Yes.
some of us lost their mothers, some of us lost their fathers, some of us lost their brothers, some of us lost their colleagues, sisters. And so we are affected in one way or another,
Yes.
as the community or as a nation at large. So, but should we continue saying that we are affected, therefore we don't want to come together? No. So the question you're asking is the question that need to be analyzed by those who are still skeptical to accept peace. So, but I, at the same time, have to accept the reality that peace is paramount. Peace will surface all our differences. Peace will create an environment where we will be, able, to compare,
Yes.
between the life we are in and the life that we are pursuing ahead of us. So, what you are saying, God Anthony, I believe those who are still not making it, those who are still making it hard to accept that, okay, brother, I'm sorry, or brother, we need to move away from this, to go to another level. I'm not yet realized, or maybe they are not really affected to the level that one feel you are affected.
Yes. So you forgive those who have done bad to you, and you forget about it.
Well, of course, it's still painful, but I have to move.
Yes.
We have to continue moving. At least there have to be a way. God Anthony, majority of our citizens today are not living in our areas. You see some people go and talk in Nairobi, in Kampala, and Addis Ababa, Khartoum, and other places. And when they see themselves as Southern Sudanese, they accept to be called Southern Sudanese. This is shame. This is shame. We need to come back home and reconcile. If we are able to go and meet when we meet in Kampala and see ourselves as brothers, as the Southern Sudanese, why not should we see ourselves when we are at home?
Yes.
So to me, I'm calling for my people of Central Upper Nile to reconcile, accept one another, forgive one another, without any condition.
What would you think could be some of the challenge that the new state, Central Upper Nile state, will face while ensuring that it reach to level of where you want it to be?
My brother, my state is not new, but the name is new.
Okay.
Central Upper Nile might be new, but the state itself is not new.
Yes.
As I mentioned it earlier, that Malakal is one of the oldest town in South Sudan. It's a historical town.
Yes.
So if you go to Malakal now, what has happened is the destruction. But the infrastructures are still there. So it's a matter of people of Central Upper Nile to accept themselves, to reconcile, live, accept peace among themselves. And for us to pick up, it will just be a matter of short time.
Yes.
Today in Malakal, if we accept to live in peace, a child will not have a problem where to go for issue of the learning space. The school are there.
Yes.
The hospital is there. It may need some renovations here and there,
Okay.
but the facilities are there. So our challenge in Central Upper Nile, or our challenge in Malakal town, is a question of absence of peace.
Okay.
So it is upon the people to choose between the good and bad. It is upon the people to choose between peace and war.
Yes.
So I make a joke sometimes that Christians continue to preach, preach salvation.
Yes.
Yet people don't want that, but people are given a choice to choose between between salvation or the righteousness, and sin.
Yes.
So it is upon the people of Central Upper Nile to choose between peace and conflict.
Yes.
Me, I'm for peace. Me and my government will go for peace.
Yes.
And this peace is to call everybody to join us. And we will see the impact of peace. You know, we have already seen the impact of war.
Yes.
Okay. I believe if we count the impact of war, there are thousands of negative impact. But if we can give peace a chance and see the impact of peace, you know, it will result into different things. All of them will be positives on earth. So it is upon the people of Central Upper Nile to accept peace. There is no need for me to be continue preaching peace, and people will continue to choose war or conflict. So I believe they will accept peace. And that peace is for all of us, regardless of who you are. Whether you are from where or where, I call you to join peace. So our president is always a man of good heart.
Yes.
You know, you see, God Anthony, how many degrees that have been read, pardoning people who come and go. And he never stopped them. And I believe even today, you know, if some people, you know, change their hearts and they want to accept peace, he's ready to pardon them.
Yes.
So why not don't we learn from him? Why not don't we accept that spirit?
Yes.
A spirit of forgiveness, a spirit of pardoning, you know, one another. You know, does not matter what crime I have done. You know, you are called back to be a citizen of South Sudan. What is needed from you as a citizen is just to abide by law. What is needed from you as a citizen is just to accept peace, so that we create a conducive environment for all our children, for all our elderly,
Yes.
you know, who are tired, they grew up in war, they become whole in war, and we need to give them rest. So I still call upon my people, brothers and sisters, my fellow citizens, let us accept peace. You know, let us avoid war. If there are some people who are still hushing you to go for war, war is very expensive. Not only expensive in terms of resources, but it is also expensive in terms of human resources.
Yes.
Don't look at just the material resources. Look at the human resources. Brother, it is upon the people. Anyway, it is upon the people to choose between peace and war.
Okay.
And I believe they are going to choose peace. That's my feel. Okay. That's my feel. I'm ready to work for peace. Yeah.
Okay, viewers of SSBC, that has finally brought us to the end of this interview of the Roundtable Show. But remember, Governor just said peace is just the best that we have to choose, not war, because war is just more expensive and destructive. Let us accept each other, let's dialogue, let's forgive each other, and move our nation forward, South Sudan. To the community and the people in the Central Upper Nile region, your governor has made an appeal. It is up to you to choose the direction of peace or the direction of war. Governor, it has been a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We hope to see you again.
Yeah, we are ready.
Thank you.
Every now and then.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you.